any questions related to that investigation in Alabama will have to be referred to them. We just received a call this morning from their investigators just saying, hey, can you guys go by this particular home and check to see if this individual is there? And of course, once we arrived, he was there inside of the house. The tenants were basically said, hey, he's upstairs sleeping. And that's when officers heard those gunshots. So, as you can imagine, hearing gunshots and not knowing where they came from, the officers immediately took cover, made sure the two tenants were okay. They cleared the house, made sure it was safe to go in, and then made the gruesome discovery.
So who were the two? So they were talking to two tenants outside of the
Outside.
house, and those two people lived there?
Yes.
Did they know this adult male that was upstairs?
Don't know the relationship. We do know that they were allowing him and the other two victims to stay there.
So he did not live there. He was staying with them.
He, from what we understand, the investigation shows that he was a guest in the home.
How old is he?
At this time, we're not going to release an age or a name until we notify his next of kin.
How old were the other two victims?
We're not saying at this time.
Are they juveniles?
We're not going to say at this time. That's part of the investigation. And Courtney, sometimes the investigation of this nature takes time, and it's sensitive in nature, and we want to respect those families of those victims. So in due time, I know you want this information now, but you have to take those families into consideration. Just imagine if you lost a loved one, would you want that information immediately released? And that's still part of our investigation, and believe me, as soon as we're able to release it, we will.
We saw a white truck being towed away. Any significance of that white truck to the investigation?
From what we understand, that vehicle belonged to that adult male, and so as part of the investigation, we towed it here to the police department, and we're going to process that vehicle for any potential evidence.
Do you know how long he had been staying at that house or here in Tennessee?
Detectives did not reveal to me how long he had been here or staying with those tenants at that particular home. So I could ask my detectives, but again, they will probably say it's part of the investigation and not really relevant to their investigation right now.
And can you share, I know that this is obviously sensitive, can you share at this point what the relationship is, if any, between the adult male and the two victims? So
that we don't make a positive identification on air through the media, we're going to withhold from giving any relationship between the three people who are deceased.
The attempt to locate call, do you know the exact nature of that? Was it
an attempt to locate call? Of course, that's police talk. Basically, this other department said, hey, we're looking for this person. We believe that person is in your city. Will you please go to this location to see if he's there? So we attempted to locate that particular person at that location.
So the two people who are outside that live there, those are the only two people that live at that home?
From what we understand, they are the tenants of that home. We understand that they rent that property, and from what we understand is the adult male and the other two victims were guests in the home.
How are those tenants holding up?
I'm sorry?
How are those tenants?
I haven't talked with them personally. Matter of fact, I didn't even see them. They quickly got them away from the scene, brought them here to the police department, and did an interview with them. So I'm not sure exactly. But, as you can imagine, just hearing, not even witnessing, but just hearing gunshots and then knowing someone is deceased, it has to take a toll on everyone. I do want to reemphasize, and then with the help of you, to assure the people in that community and the people in that neighborhood and people of the Murfreesboro community that, this is an isolated case. We're not looking for a suspect. There's no need for them, to panic or be alarmed at this time.
Did you guys recover the gun at the scene?
Again, any evidence that we may have collected is part of the investigation, and so at this time, I don't get to go inside of a crime scene, so I'm sure any and all evidence related to this case was collected and entered into our evidence system here.
On social media, a lot of people have been talking about how this was a quiet neighborhood, close to where kids go to school. How shocking is it, especially for you guys, to respond to something like this happening in a neighborhood like that?
It doesn't matter what part of town. Anytime there's a death in the city of Murfreesboro, we all grieve. And it doesn't matter whether it's the west side of town, east side, or south side. This was an isolated incident. It happened inside of the house, so no one else was at risk. No one else was threatened, and we're just happy that the tenant, as well as our officers, you know, are safe.
Now, in order for us to reach out to the Madison, Alabama Sheriff's Office,
Mhm.
we need a name to find out who this man is. Is there any way we can get some information that, if we reach out to their PIO, we can find out if this person is a fugitive as a criminal?
I'm
record?
sure if you reach out to the Madison County Sheriff's Office Public Information Officer, he will be able to share information with you without having a name.
Larry, is there anything else? You said the streets are back open?
Yeah, the streets are back open. Again, you know, this case is really sensitive in nature, and we do want to respect, you know, those tenants, respect, you know, the family of those people who are deceased, and to give law enforcement an opportunity to go and notify them and let them know that their loved one is no longer with us.
All right, thank you, Larry.
Great,
Thank you, Larry.
thanks.